So everybody's wondering about Deshaun Watson, whether or
Mm-hmm.
not he's going to come out swinging. What's your thoughts of what you think he's going to look like in the first quarter of the first game?
He has notoriously been a slow starter since he has
that
come
is
to the
true.
Browns, as we all know. So my hope is he is breaking that trend. His quarterback coach, side coach that he works with, Quincy Avery, said he is throwing the best he's ever thrown. So take that with a grain of salt. Take that for what you will. That's kind of like, a partisan thing, like Bill, like the Republicans pumping up their stuff, Democrats pumping up their stuff. He's going to pump up his own guy, which you got to do. But Deshaun Watson, it's like I have to see it. I can't. I have held out hope for him. I have, kind of let go the off-field stuff and just looked at his gameplay. And we have to remember, now I take out the Indianapolis game last year because he only played like 2 series, but he technically got the win for that game. So last year he was 5-1 as a starter, and he was 3-3 the year before that. So 8-4 as a starter with the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to call it 7-4 because I'm not going to give him that Indy win. But I mean, the Browns have been winning when he's starting. And the last game we remember him playing was that Baltimore game where he was injured the whole game, but he goes 14-14 in the second half, and brings the Browns back to beat then the number one. Well, they were the number 1 team in the regular season last year. So
I'm the offensive coordinating consultant today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell, like, they know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if they follow my template, this is how they bring him back without frustration, without injury and whatever.
Sure.
So when we were watching that Kent State game, and that quarterback got hit like 5 times in a row from his right side.
Okay.
And he got drilled into the ground. And I thought, Deshaun takes any hits that are even similar to that, and he's done for the freaking season. So you come out and you run the crap out of. I don't even care if you convert on 3rd downs at all, but you start wearing out, and you keep those rushers away from Deshaun and give him some momentum going there. Don't even let him start throwing the ball with any depth until like second quarter. Keep them away from that, because those are going to be coming out aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, next to, you have arguably the top 3 pass rushers in the game of Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is coming against the Browns this year. And then you have the uncertainty at tackle. It looks like DeJuan Jones is going to be your right tackle. And it looks like Jack Conklin, who missed the majority of last season, is going to at least start the year at left tackle.
He'll be there for at least 3 downs.
I mean, they're paying him to play at least 1 quarter this season. If the Browns truly need him healthy for the first 2 weeks of the season, like, give me everything you got, because Jed Wills apparently just returned to practice. He's not going to start. He might be able to play in this game. I don't know.
I don't even want any contact on Deshaun Watson for the first quarter. I want them to stay away.
Yeah.
If they can't have any kind of protection that is totally solid, that gives him a full 3 seconds back there, then they need to run the ball.
And to go along with what you're saying, I think if Deshaun Watson feels unnecessary pressure, and we got to remember, he hasn't played in a football game since November. And, he didn't play in the preseason. He did go in the scrimmages against Minnesota in week 2 of the preseason, but he knows he's still not going to get hit. So he has not had that full contact hit. So to what you're saying, if he feels in danger, don't take the big hit. Either throw the ball away, dump it down, or
you got 2
get
great
down.
Tight ends that know how to get open. So if it's not a run, then it's
one great tight end.
Okay, all right.
Great tight end.
All right.
The Akins is good.
I like him. I think
he's a good red zone target. I don't think he's a great.
But you got a big-bodied person who knows how to like square up and be open for a 5-yard dump off.
I think, and this is going to be very interesting to see what the Browns do come out and look like on offense, because in the preseason, you keep it very vanilla. You keep it like close to the vest. But Ken Dorsey, we know what he ran at Buffalo, what he ran before that with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. They will spread. They're going to spread it out. So
that's my fear.
We're not used. But with that, you get a lot of short dropbacks or shotgun, real quick passes. So Deshaun Watson, when he was most successful in Houston, they were going 3 and 4 wides all the time, and he was spreading the ball out and some dink and dunk. But then you get those over the top, big hitters every now and then.
Late in the game, I'm all for seeing what he can do with the verticals. Okay. Absolutely, let those wide receivers, those deep threats guys go, but not early on in the game. I really don't want to see it.
I am very intrigued with this game because you said week 1. We kind of know the main players in this game. You know what the Cowboys bring on with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Their rushing game looks great if it's 2015. With Zeke Elliott and Dalvin Cook, and there's this guy named Rico Dowdle that is going to be one of their main backs that nobody's really knows that well. But who knows what the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb missed the majority of the preseason. I saw a report today that they are upping his practice to hopefully have him ready to play the majority of the game week 1. So he's probably going to be winded. He's not going to be 100% ready to go. That's obviously, like, if you look at any fantasy drafts, CeeDee Lamb's usually the number 1 player to go in most drafts because he led the league by like 200 or 300 yards receiving last year with like 1,750 yards last year. That's ridiculous. Like, think of how good of a season Amari Cooper had last year. CeeDee Lamb had 500 more yards than Amari Cooper.